Well, good morning and welcome to Coasters Online. We really hope you've had a fantastic week. We, of course, still miss you and we love you, and we're just pleased that we can be with you this morning, even if it's virtually. So this morning we're going to be talking about disappointment. Maybe you feel a bit disappointed about that. But no, we're going to actually be talking about how we deal with disappointment in our lives. So disappointment, it comes in all sizes, doesn't it? And any time our hopes are not realised or our expectations or desires are not fulfilled, we can feel really disappointed. And disappointment can be either a passing emotion over something small, or it can strike quite powerfully when something permanently changes in our lives. And a major disappointment can actually remain within us all the time, which can then actually have a real impact in our reactions to everything in our lives.
We all experience disappointment for different reasons. In itself, feeling disappointed is not a sin. How we handle it is the crucial issue.
That's right, absolutely. So we're going to actually now look at some pictures which show some reasons as to why we might feel disappointed in our lives. Here goes. Okay, so there are some reasons as to why we might feel disappointed in our lives. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, different people will be disappointed for different reasons. And so people who love football are sad when their team loses, but somebody who doesn't really follow football and doesn't really like it isn't really going to care. So it just goes to show that, you know, we all experience disappointment in different ways in our lives. And do you know what? I've experienced some disappointments in my life recently, as last month our first ever family holiday abroad was cancelled. So that was a bit sad, wasn't it?
Yes.
And it was disappointing. It was really disappointing. And also it was my birthday on Wednesday. And if you remember, we had a beautiful heat wave all the way up to Tuesday. It was still 24, 25 degrees outside. We sunbathed in our back garden, paddling pool, beautiful. Then comes Wednesday, my birthday. And it rained most of the day. It was quite cold. It was a very, very different day. And, you know, it just made me realise and made me think that, you know, the disappointment that I felt from that, I had a choice as to how I dealt with that. And God really spoke to me on that. He actually spoke to me on that before my birthday, because a week before my birthday, it was saying that it was going to still be beautiful on my birthday, beautiful weather. And it just gradually started changing as the week as it was getting closer and closer to my birthday. And so God had actually spoken to me about how to deal with disappointment in my life. And that I have a choice. We all have a choice of how we deal with that disappointment. Now, I could have moped around on my birthday, felt really sad, thought, oh, well, this is rubbish, look at the weather. It's on lockdown, I can't celebrate as I usually would. But you know what, I thought no, I'm gonna make the most of my day, because I had that choice to make the most of my day and overcome my disappointment. And do you know what? I had a fabulous day. I really did. My family made it wonderful for me. I saw friends, they popped around, and you know, I had a really, really good, fun-filled day. So this morning, me and Hope are going to act out just the beginning part of a character's life from the Bible, okay? And I want you to have, I would like you to see if you can guess who the character is. Okay, here goes. Okay, so do we know who it is?
It was Moses.
It was Moses. It was Moses who was put in a basket in the river bushes, and the princess of Egypt found him. So do you know, Moses was a man who understood disappointment. If anyone was ever faced with a repeated disappointment, it was Moses. When Moses was a baby, he was rescued from death by the faith of his parents. So God arranged for him to be adopted by the princess of Egypt. Moses was an Israelite, and he was taught that the Israelites were God's people. They were chosen to bless the world. And as Moses grew up, he saw the Hebrew slaves struggling while he was living luxuriously, enjoying all the privileges of royalty. But finally, Moses tried to do something to help his people. When Moses was 40 years old, he decided to visit his fellow Israelites. He saw one of them being mistreated by an Egyptian, so he went and defended him. Moses thought that his own people would realise that God was using him to rescue them, but they did not. And many years before God called him to do so, Moses actually longed to help his people. He was willing to use his power and influence to change their desperate situation. But do you know what they did? They rejected him. In fact, he had to flee from his life from Egypt to live in the backside of the desert for another 40 years. Now, that's disappointing.
There are two key reasons for disappointment here.
First, Moses was disappointed in people because his expectations that his people would understand what he wanted to do for them and would accept him were not fulfilled.
Second, he was disappointed in his circumstances. After years of privilege and education in Egypt, he certainly had never dreamed that he would spend the rest of his life looking after sheep in the middle of a desert. What an discouraging future.
Absolutely, what a discouraging future. So today, we actually become disappointed for precisely the same two reasons, when we set our hearts on people or on our circumstances. And we are usually disappointed when we set our hearts on either of those two things. God wants us to set our hearts only on him. He wants us to trust in his goodness, even in the midst of our deepest disappointments. And when we do this, he helps us overcome the disappointment and focus on him, who is good at all times, no matter whether we are having a good day or a bad day. Fantastic. So, that is what we were talking about this morning, how we deal with that disappointment in our lives. So we hope you take something encouraging away from that. So actually our craft follows on really, really well with this story. So let me introduce it, Hope, as we always do, of course. Craft time with Hope!
So, today, I love this craft. So let's just grab it all. And so basically the craft today is so painting a candle jar. And so basically it's going to be a prayer jar. And so you can decorate it however you like. I've just done some polka dots to make it kind of funky. But here are some things that you can put in it. So, for example, like disappointments, this is what it's going to be. So here's a disappointment that you can have quite a lot of the time, that your friend's party could be cancelled. So say if that happened to me in life, I could write it down on a piece of paper, fold it up. Just before I put it into the prayer jar, I pray about it so it can be all okay, and I put it in the prayer jar. For another example, when someone breaks a promise, and that happens quite a lot to some people, so I pray for that as well if I have a lot of...
We pray into how to help God, to ask for God's help in how we deal with that disappointment, isn't it?
And then the last one would be like, if your mum says no to like having something or buying something online or something. So if I get that, put it into the jar, pray for it, and hopefully God will answer my prayers. Well,
fantastic. Oh, what a lovely craft, Hope. That was fantastic. Well done. Thank you for sharing that with us this morning. Okay, well, we hope you've enjoyed. We hope you can go away and make something similar at home. This was just an old candle jar that we used, but you could use a plant pot,
a jam jar.
Jam jar. Yeah, there's lots of things you could use. Paint it. Beautiful. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Well, we love you. We hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And that's all from us this morning. God bless. Goodbye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.